Hey y'all! I am so excited that I got another episode of Hush No More with Dr. Vanessa. Welcome. I am Dr. Vanessa. I'm the proud founder of Hush No More, and I love to bring stories to let you know about healing and how amazing survivors are when they work on themselves and they work on their healing. So that is what today is about. It is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, all month long. I'm going to bring you amazing survivors, amazing warriors that will be refreshing, encouraging, and just to let you know that healing is possible. And that's what today is. So I am going to bring on my guest, my amazing guest, who I am just so honored to have the opportunity for you to meet her. Okay. So I am bringing on the amazing Karen Klines. Welcome, Karen.
Hello.
I am so happy that you decided to say yes to join me today to just have a great conversation during a month of awareness for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and just to be able to give the audience an opportunity to meet you and to see how amazing you are and how far you've came. So I want to start off with, what is your hush topic?
Well, today my hush topic will be rape, mental health, and healing.
Rape, mental health, and healing. And all of those definitely go together. Can you tell us about who is Karen? Who is Karen Klines?
Who's Karen? Karen is a survivor. Karen is a woman of integrity today. Karen is a passionate person. Karen is a well mannered person, a very respectful person with a big heart. That's what Karen.
With a big heart. That's ironic that you said with a big heart because Victor Green just put up a big heart for you. So, hi, Victor. Like you said at the same time, Karen with a big heart. You have family and friends that are on, so I want to make sure I shout them out. Jessie, she said, "Wow, go Karen," and that she's so proud of you. I think it's important that our family and friends support us when we're on the podcast, when we're on the next level, when we're just sharing our story, right? So, what is it from you, just from your past? Give me part of your hush topic. Like, explain to me what rape, addiction, and mental health looks like for you as a survivor.
Well, let me start with I had to look up and be able to identify the difference between rape and molestation, right?
Yes.
And I put rape in all caps when it comes down to describing what I had to experience growing up. So, being raped, not willingly participating in a sexual act, has caused major mental trauma for me. And at the time, having no spirituality. At a very young age, I was raped. 10, first time, 11, the second time, and 12, the third time. Mentally, it destroyed me. It destroyed me in ways where I no longer seen life worth living. Why? Because the people that should have been protecting me wasn't. Hmm? And it was like, back in the days, what's done in the house or said in the house stays in the house.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I had a big mouth because I always spoke up and it got me in more trouble, you know. However, what it did to me mentally of experiencing the rejection because there was no protection. So it kind of dampened me in a way where I didn't know what self-worth was. You know, for quite some time it took me to really have to understand that I'm a victim.
Mhm. Yeah.
For some reason, it took me decades to really come out of the cell within, hiding from fear, to really want better, to want to find who I was, who I am really. Not the labels, not the titles that was placed upon me, not the things that happened to me, to be able to identify who is Karen L. Klines. I always knew the L was in the middle of my name because there was still love in my heart. You know, it was very hard for me. It was very challenging for me because instead of psychiatrists and doctors giving me the opportunity to say what my vision of the problem was, they went by what was told to them. And what was told to them was stories to cover up what was happening to me.
Mhm.
So it really, I mean, and I went through many different phases. I went through phases where I could not stand nothing on my skin, where I would try to scrub the feeling away. So mentally, going through that caused me more harm going through psychiatric care, because now they're trying to give me medication to dumb me down and forget about what the root of the problem is.
They don't look at the problem. They don't that's not the
Now, and then
them
you
don't.
don't have the opportunity to
Mhm.
say, this is what, this is why I always had the passion to go back to school so I can be that therapist when a disturbed child is placed in my office, and I can help them to recover. I can help them to be able to speak and express what they see the problem is, and not go by a diagnosis from someone else. For years I fought for um, a re-diagnosis until I had to tell the state of New York and California, I don't need a re-diagnose, because you see the re-diagnose standing in front of you, and I will no longer tolerate taking this medication. I will no longer tolerate you trying to dumb me down to forget what happened to me, when I'm clear with, this man took advantage of me and y'all didn't do anything about it.
Why did you choose the word rape over molestation? Because I don't
Because
like the word molestation because I feel like it kind of downplays what happened to children. I think it's rape, and I love that you say that. Why do you choose to say rape?
I choose to say rape because I didn't volunteer at near given time. I did not volunteer at near given time. The first time, okay, even with me being a fighter and angry about what's going on already in the house, I had some anger issues. So I fought back, but of course I was superpowered. And in that same incident, my brother tried to help me, and he was beat. You understand? And that was overlooked. So he never got involved no more. I say rape because the second time I was handcuffed, mm, the second time I was handcuffed to the bedpost, okay? And imagine being 10 years old and somebody with, I don't know how deep I can go on this podcast,
You
but
said,
a very large penis going up inside of me. You understand? Nobody wants that.
mm-mm.
Nobody wants that. And to be honest with you, the first time willingly having sex, because I felt obligated to the person who was hiding me in their home, which is my daughter's father. And I felt I owed him something, and the only thing I had to give him was me. And that was a one shot deal because the first time having sex, I got pregnant willingly, you know. But I want to talk about how I get to the point of knowing that the pain was becoming too overbearing.
Mhm.
So many times I thought about suicide, then I thought about homicide, wanting to find ways to get him before he get me again. But then what I had to hold on to was a mustard seed of faith, and that was the songs of gospel, because I wasn't having a clear understanding to the scripture, which is the art and the keys to succeed. I wasn't having clear understanding to that. So I had the songs. I may not known who the artist was because they had me so dumbed down to medication, but I could tell you every word in the song and how it hit my spirit and kept me alive for many years.
Mhm. So gospel music was one of the things that kept you at this space of giving you hope.
Yes.
It gave you hope.
And I never, and for so many years, my mental health was so bad from drug use. I need to not leave that part out
Mhm.
because, yes, for many years, for decades, I tried to numb that feeling. I tried to numb that feeling. And there was times I stayed up fighting from being down from the medication and using the controlled substance to try to stay up because I need to be woke. I need to see some things. I need to see people coming at me. I need to know. I can't be down from this medication. So having the both of them really had me gone, mentally, but I still had my songs to hold on to.
Okay. That gave you hope. Kim says they also don't care about correctly diagnosing African American women, right? And you talked about being misdiagnosed. Do you feel like they didn't care?
There was no care.
Okay.
There was no care. At the time, everything was about a dead president. What was on that bill?
Okay. Money.
Okay, money.
Hmm.
They didn't care because if they cared, they would have tried to get to the root of it instead of suppressing, giving you something to suppress and sleep life away. They was giving me so much medication, I had to stop them one day. How did I get here? And how long have I been here? And what am I doing here? And when they told me 10 days, I'm not taking that. Get me a doctor. Get me out of here. And I went off.
So
You
10
understand?
days, you didn't even know that you were in the mental
I
hospital.
didn't know when the day came and when the day left because they had me on so much medication in the psych ward. They had me on so much medication and then detoxing from the controlled substance. So I was sleeping my little life away for 10 days until I woke up back to reality when they was getting ready to give me another dose of medication. So there was no care there. There was no love there. And there at that time was no support from outside family members. For whatever reason they may have been going through, I was not a concern.
Tiara says she loves your passion. I do too, Tiara. I love her passion. So, who put you in the facilities? Was it your mom? Was it family? Or how did you even get there, especially as a
Well,
child? Was it your
the
mom?
very first time going into a facility, my mother had me put into a facility. Why? Because I was given this gift from God to see things before they happen. And I seen a situation and I'm trying to get out my mother's front door. The lady lived all the way on across the street, but my window was facing hers, and something told me she was getting ready to kill her babies. And I'm trying to get out the house to get her some help. My mother has my brother stop me from going out the house. She calls the police and tell them I'm having a mental breakdown. By the time they get me to the psych emergency and I'm in the intake now seeing the doctor, it comes across the TV screen on the breaking news that the woman done drowned her baby, said the baby was possessed. Then they tried to accuse me of talking to this woman when I had no interaction with her. But I was able to see that something was getting ready to take place and wanted to get her some help. So my mom was the first one to sign me in the psych ward. Okay. Then there was times I signed myself in because I was just lost and I didn't know what else to do. I didn't no longer feel safe in the street, you know. I was tired of being my own eyes and watching my own back and feeling that I had to get people before they get me. So sometimes I signed myself in. Then there's sometimes they just felt I needed to be there because I was talking with some good sense, you know. But they wanted to make me feel like I didn't even have common sense.
Do you think your mom, because you did report what had happened to you, do you think that was part of too why your mom was trying to commit you to maybe show, and I don't know, maybe show that you weren't believable, that people couldn't believe you, that you were crazy?
What I believe that she was having her own issues, right? Because let me not leave out the fact that it was some closet substance users. You understand? And me being a talker and expose everyone, I needed to be somewhere where I didn't see nothing, didn't know nothing, didn't hear nothing, so I couldn't speak nothing. You understand? On top of her maybe going through her own issues of to my existence, period. That's just a whole nother podcast channel.
That is a whole podcast.
Um, Briefly, at this age now, in this stage, and with some of the things that I've experienced in life, I've come to understand the family dynamic a little better. I have never been a part of the family in that way. I knew family members, certain family members. God bless my cousin who's on the screen, Victor Green. When he see me, it was not like I was a stranger to him, and that was about the only one. You know, him and his wife and their kids. However, and my grandmother before her passing. But to everybody else, I was a stranger. But everybody else was those closets because I was in the open with what happened to me and my drug use. Because now I'm not ashamed and I don't have to go in the closet and hide. I don't care who knows because it's an open book now at this point. Everybody else's life is such a big secret and they doing the same damn thing. Anywho, it was a way for her to push me away to keep my mouth shut because they had already had this belief that was done or said in the house stays in the house. Not when it's not happening to you, but it's happening to me. So now I'm speaking up to get some help, and y'all labeling me crazy.
Yeah.
And then you want to hear the hit of that? After my mom finding out about it, she didn't ask. No, you know what she bought me? A sanitary pad because now at this point I'm bleeding. Okay. And never told me nothing about administration. Never told me how to use the pad. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I had to figure all of that out, but I was still trying to figure out why you ain't asking me why I'm bleeding and how to use this. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? So mentally, I was I was questioning, are you crazy or are these people crazy? So it was a big question mark to me for many years
Well, what you
until
crazy? Wasn't you crazy?
until I started being defiant and questioning the doctor's status and what they was doing, because I had to really advocate for myself because I didn't have nobody to advocate. When I felt I was in there long enough and y'all done did enough and y'all done milked this here Medicaid long enough, giving me these pharmaceutical drugs, now I need to get out of here because I need some air and I need to think. I had to advocate for myself to get out. Because if it was left to my mother, I would have been there till I was 18.
Because she wasn't trying to get you out.
And she was one of the main reasons I was in there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I got some comments. Samoya said that she's so proud of you. She's so proud of you. And
Thank you.
Jesse said the amount of work that Karen has done after the violence to be the most gentle, thoughtful, loving soul we see before us today. It's incredible. Oh, that's so sweet. And Kim says, I totally understand that. Yes, it's about money. And then, and especially now, Vanessa will tell you, I understand that fully. And I see it firsthand by working in the medical field. Um, she also had another comment. It's not that you are a talker, you just never held on to the toxicity that everyone else was keeping on them. That is something God gave you along with your visions. By the way, they wouldn't have understood even if they were sober. They wouldn't have understood. But I am truly proud of you too, because we talked about systems. I do not agree with our medical system, our mental health system. There are some good people, good doctors, good therapists and counselors that advocate for healing, but all of them don't. All of them would say things, most of them will say you need to be on medication, you need to be hospitalized, and they're not trying to get to the root of the problem. You were caught up in the system like that. Was any time did anybody ever, out of all the times that you was in the facility, did they ever try to really get to the root of the problem? Out of all these years, not just as a child, but as an adult.
No, they never. Well, I could say in 2017. Now, mind you, I was born in 1970, so we're talking 1980.
Mhm.
These situations occurring in the 80s. So I was never given the proper care until 2017. The 2017, I finally found a therapist, and she wanted to talk. And when I opened my mouth to speak to her, she said, I can't believe this conversation. She says, because they have you down here as schizoaffective, bipolar disorder, and incompetent. So then I was telling her what I wanted. I don't want to be on medication. They told me that my system had got so used to this medication that I would never be right mentally again and I would have to take it the rest of my life. I ended up with a very nice doctor, and he says, well, we cannot just take you off the medication, but we can wean you down. And that was right up my alley.
2017.
2017, that's when, and then I didn't have no more therapist or doctor in New York because now I'm not weaning down off the medication. I don't need it because all it's doing is giving me anxiety anyway. And then I relocated from New York because now I want to find healing and wholeness. I want to find healing. I want to start up my life all over. I want to go a place where nobody knows me and
And start.
only who I tell you I am.
I got a
I,
question for you. I got a question. Do you think that there was a connection for you with your mental health drugs, right? The psychotics that you were on, with the addiction that you had? Do you
Well,
think there was a connection of them putting you on drugs so early and then with the
no,
addiction?
well, before I even got on a controlled substance, which was crack cocaine, I was on very high milligrams of Therazine at 10 years old, 100 milligrams twice a day. So it had nothing to do with the drug use. The
No,
drug use,
let me say it again. You know how they start us on certain psych meds, right? And then the addiction of other substances come along. Do you feel like there was a connection because of you were already on the psych meds to now you on crack? Or like for me it was alcohol. Like I went from psych meds to alcohol, right? Do you see a connection for you with that?
it was a very deep connection
Okay.
because I believe my reason for really getting involved in crack cocaine, one, and even down to the people that I was hanging out then, never asked me my age. And at the time I started indulging in crack, I was 13.
What?
Yes.
Real young.
So they never asked me my age. They
Right.
just knew I was about getting my money and I was about my business and I'll fight in a heartbeat. That's all they knew about me.
At 13.
And in fact, nobody even knew that my name was actually Karen because nobody called me that in the street.
What was your street name?
Tasha,
Tasha.
yes, yes. For many years, they called me Tasha. That was my name in the street. Nobody knew me as Karen, not unless it was the hospital or the penitentiary. They only knew me as Tasha. So, to answer your question, yes, because the medication had me so down, and I seen the people that I was hanging around up, moving, and they had a flow. I want to be up. I want to be alert. I don't want to be down, feeling sad, because I never want to look like what I've been through. So I had this mask on for many years of hiding the pain, So, and I hope that answered your question.
It did because I do think that there's a big connection, and so that's why addiction is one of the topics, one of the things I'm very passionate about because there's a major correlation and they don't talk about it. And so I'm just happy that you are sharing that. So you definitely did. Laquan he's clapping for you, cheering you on. I got some more comments for you, Victor. Hey, cousin Victor. He
Mhm.
said, I would like to say that I am extremely proud of her considering all what she's been through and the way she was able to come out of the darkness and be the light she is now. You are definitely the light. And he said he feels you. And then Miss Johnny said, mental health is the Black community has always been downplayed. We have always been overlooked when it comes to Black people. And it started with the Black family and that corn broom, they used to sweep it under the rug. The rug has been pulled back. I refuse to stay silent and not speak up. Sister, I am proud of you. Thanks for speaking up and sharing your story. I salute you, Queen. Thank
Thank
you, Miss Johnny.
you.
And Geneva said, "Oh my." So they're like really into your story. So and thank you for your honesty because people will get on a podcast and they don't tell the truth or act like their life was good. They just had a little setbacks. But you telling like 13 years old on drugs, like and on crack, and nobody even stopped it. Like even was like there for you. And I feel like the system failed you. Do you feel like this is the system that we have in place failed you
I
in that
feel
time?
like every system that is affiliated with this world that has forced mission statements have failed. Not just me, but many like me. I feel they were in position to make a difference, and instead, they made things worse. From the prison system, and that's a whole nother podcast too, because, you know, but this is the season for justice. I'm going to leave that like that because the system has been failing people for decades and nobody is doing anything about it. And today, it's even worse because now you go in the hospital for mental health and they locking you in basements in some places. You know, I'm sure y'all follow the news, y'all. But yeah, so the system is even worse now. And thank God that I had help come along and to show me a better way where I could find healing and start working to wholeness. And that was in 2018 when I relocated to California. And I went and seen one therapist out there. And he was like, "Well, Miss Klines, what can I do for you? Because you seem to be counseling me at that point." I said, "Well, you don't need to swipe this good old Medicaid no more."
Because he wasn't doing nothing. I have found counselors though that I was helping them. I like,
And so I have not
help.
been back
Okay.
in a mental institution, took any psychotropic medication since 2017.
Congratulations. I'm so
And the last time I took psychotropic medication, I had came down here to South Carolina for my grandson's 11th birthday. He called me and I was getting ready to leave New York and go to California. And he called and he said, "Grandma, the only thing I want for my birthday is my whole family to get together and we get together." So my daughter planned a birthday party for him at the bowling alley. Of course I came. I bought him a telephone because he used to sneak and use everybody's telephone to call me. He would sneak in the bathroom and stole somebody's telephone and stand in the bathroom 11, 12 o'clock at night. And he would be one who called me. And that touched my heart so bad because, like, it made me feel that there was some hope, right? So when I got to South Carolina, my mom did something. We met at the bowling alley. She did something that turned me all the way off. And instead of acting out, I left and got on the next thing smoking back to New York. But when I got back to New York, I was so broken that all the Seroquels, they had me on 800 milligrams of
of
Seroquel
what?
twice a day. So I had 120 pills. And I was so broken. And that was the last time I tried to commit suicide. I took half the bottle. And thank God, because the person who went with me didn't even know that I went in another room and took the pills because I couldn't bear the pain no more. But God had a different plan because it was 120 pills. It was only 21 left in the bottle when I started regurgitating and defecating at the same time, getting it out of my system. God said, "It ain't your time to go." That was the last time a psychotropic pill went in my mouth. That was the last time a crack stem went in my mouth. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that God let me know it wasn't my time yet. He had a bigger
What
plan
your
for me.
time? So Seroquel is very strong. I've tried Seroquel because I have insomnia, and it make me feel like I'm still groggy like the next day, like you still feel sleepy, almost like for me I felt like it was a sleepwalking pill, like I'm awake but I'm asleep. And if you look at a lot of the psych meds, suicide is one of the side effects, depression is one of the side effects, like there's so many side effects. And so I tell people, if it is some type of chemical imbalance, then yes, you should be on a type of psych med that works with your chemical imbalance. But everybody don't need to be on the psych meds.
But
There are
let
people
me
that
tell you something.
get helped.
Let me tell you something. They had me, now, like I said in the very beginning,
Mhm.
on 100 milligrams of Thorazine twice a day at 10 years old after the rape, right? And then my system became used to it, right? So the medication was no longer working for me. I done been on every medication you can name, psychotropic, from Haldol, Decanol A, um, it's, just go down the line. Anything in that family, I done been on, and my system just don't want to take to none of it. So they used me as a guinea pig for many, many years. Need I say that? And it took some time for the residue of the psychotropic medication and the drug to really clear my brain. But yet, in the midst of the storm, let me tell you this good story here, because there's always some goodness
Good.
to find in this journey when you find healing, right? Hadn't been to school since third grade. But then when I went to California, smart as a whip, but then when I went to California to take the placement test to get into school, I was more intimidated by the looks of the school than the work itself. Went in there after crying in the lobby, I'm scared to take the test. The first one to finish the test, scoring the highest score, and went to a advanced algebra class. And I kept telling them while they was giving me all of this medication, y'all trying to dumb me down. Y'all are trying to take everything that I have. And let me tell you something. Since I've been off of medication, off of drugs, and been working towards my healing process, I'm just a powerful piece of power that won't shut off. Mm. I'm unstoppable because I'm unbreakable.
Say
I
it
was
again. Hold on. Say it again. You what?
I am a power piece of power that's unstoppable and unbreakable. You know why? Because God hired me. So that means nobody could fire me.
No. We need to quote that. You need a T-shirt that say that. I'm gonna go to the comments because you got comments coming in. Geneva said, "When I met you, I wouldn't have never known this about you. You carry it well, and I'm so proud of you." And she said, "You had to meet us to be able to bless others with your story." Tiara said, "Truly grateful you are still here. I am too, because suicide, a lot of people didn't make it, right?" Margaret says, "Beautiful. You are so beautiful, doing great. I love you, sis, and so wonderful to meet you on the cruise." Nikki said, well, Kim Nikki, "Let me just say, I really enjoyed listening to you, to be so honest, Thank you for sharing your story. You are a true warrior. Continue to fight and continue to listen to God. It's no accident that gospel music is what touches your heart. Thank you again, Queen." And I love that Tierra's tagging people. And there we go. That there, everybody's like really into your story because one, you're so passionate and you're honest, like I said. What moment can you define, just that one moment that you said, "Oh heck no, something gotta change"? Was it with the psych meds when you got off?
It was when I discovered that I was doing a lot of self sabotaging when I wasn't able to accept the reality of the things I was powerless over. And at that moment, after being locked in a prison cell within for decades, I knew that something had to change. And the only thing left to do was to find healing and wholeness because I had done been scraping my own knees on the concrete
Mhm.
from being rejected, feeling unloved, not having the support I felt should have been there for me. But at the same token, learning that I'm responsible for me. I am responsible for me. I am responsible to get the service that I need, whether it's putting it into myself, reflecting inward, and doing all the shadow work it takes to find healing. looking at the dark parts of my life that disgust me so bad, but I had no choice but to look at and finally accept and do something about it.
I always say we're responsible for our own happiness. We're responsible for our life. At one point, we can't keep blaming everybody else. We can't blame the system. We got to make a decision and say, I want to change my life. And you did that. And you did that. It wasn't effortlessly, but it looks like it. That's how you know you did it right, because it looks like you did that. And then I didn't know that you didn't go to that you haven't been to school since the third grade. The system did fail you. Multiple systems fail you because you should have been in school, and you're an Aquarius and you brilliant. So that's why you took that test, because you're just naturally smart, because Aquarius is we're smart.
And then not only that, got several scholarships, you
Yes.
know, got several scholarships. And the only reason I'm not in school today is because I came to fight some cases for
For
justice.
justice. And you're going back.
And but I'm going back. I'm
Yeah.
going back because they need good therapists out here. Therapists that understand and that is willing to listen and help someone get to the root of their issue without suppressing them with medication and brushing things under the rug, because people need to be heard and they don't have those that has the compassion and understanding all the time, because people come into work bringing their life issues from their home to the job, so they don't really put their full effort in the job, and it just becomes a paycheck thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm going back to school after I finish fighting for what's right.
Yeah. And then you got to come back on the show. We got to do like a whole show on third grade education. Bam, look where I'm at today. I would love to do that. Like, I would love to tell the world like how Karen did this. Like, I'm just so excited about you and just overcoming. I have someone that I need to tell you about. Edward Taylor is in the backstage of the studio. And his comments are, he said, "Well said, Karen. I'm proud of you. Keep striving. The mental health issue is real. And God will always create space for change, and you make his heart happy." Thank you, Edward. That is so beautiful. I love when men come and show up in these spaces and support.
Well, I personally know Mr. Taylor, and Mr. Taylor has been around and seen, he's heard a lot of stories about me, but he had the privilege to see me for who I really am.
Yeah,
hmm and not judge a book by somebody else's cover. So he had that opportunity.
I love that. Thank you, Mr. Edward. Victor said, "Need to run, but keep your head up, keep on keeping on, and continue to do your thing. Love you forever." Thank you, cousin. Look. Helen said, "I am responsible for me." Boom. We are. We responsible for ourselves. We have to make that decision when we want to heal. What does that look like? How we want to change our lives. And it's possible. That's why I wanted you on, because you've been through so much, and you are proof that healing is possible. Doing the work, doing the shadow work, because there's always a light side and a dark side to us. So you show that. You're definitely that positivity that people need to see.
And I need to also share with everyone on here, right? Because of trauma, I used to be very angry. I used to have huge trust issues. I didn't trust nobody. My mama didn't protect me, so I don't trust nobody. You know, um, and as time went on, I've learned to let the guards down a little. Everybody is not the same. You know, everybody does not have the same intentions. You know, but my level of discernment has gotten very strong because I'm very clear. I can see clearly now. I'm not on a controlled substance. I don't drink. I don't drug. I'm very clear. And then before things happen, God will show me beforehand without me feeling like I'm having a psychosis.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of individuals that are in mental health hospitals and programs that have spiritual gifts, right? And I don't think that we really pay attention to that. And also, I think we should give more grace to individuals who have addiction. If you don't work on the trauma and heal, then it's really hard to stop the addiction. Like they go hand in hand, and I say that all the time, and that's why I'm so proud of you because of that. They go hand in hand.
You want to know something? The hardest part of getting over any addiction, because getting over addiction you can do. But the hardest part of getting over any addiction is looking at the parts of yourself that you don't like.
Ooh, child. Yeah, that's what healing looks like. Looking at the parts of yourself that you don't like. Miyasha said healing is possible, it's hard, and everyone always think it's sunshine and glitter, and it's the opposite. Most definitely.
No, because I tell you, this level of pain don't leave in the morning now. It don't just go away. It don't leave in the morning. It's layers and layers and layers. And when band-aids on top of gauze pads, on top of band-aids, and more gauze pads have to be peeled off, you get an open wound. And you have to heal that before you get to the next level. So it's constant work. It's just not something you pick up and put down. It's something you have to stay tapped into. And sometimes it takes outside help of trustworthy people. It takes someone you can talk to, just talk to. Someone who's not judgmental and manipulating your vulnerability or your emotion.
Agree. I am a psychologist, but I struggle because I don't always agree with my colleagues. I don't always agree with the textbook. I don't feel like the textbook tells you the human element. I think sometimes you forget about the individual. I don't think that they always address the trauma. And so I struggle being a psychologist and helping. And I started speaking up even more about the things that I see and how individuals are being affected. So I'm so glad that you came on to share this because it
And,
is. It's
and you
struggle.
know, being in that field, I believe as a substance abuse counselor, uh, um, psychiatrist, a therapist, you have to have some type of lived experience, not just book knowledge, because the book is not always accurate, but that lived experience makes a big difference, especially in this field of work, because you're able to identify fully without those written words.
Okay. I love that. Um, People ask me all the time, "But I didn't know you was a psychologist." I am. I don't always tell people that I like to be an advocate. I, I believe that for me, advocating is important, but I needed the knowledge of a psychologist, right? Because some of the knowledge and the information is very important, right? But don't always be accurate. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's not always accurate. So it's important for us to study different things, like actually studying the brain and just studying individuals and studying spirituality because sometimes it gets confusing between what's a spiritual gift or a person that really is schizophrenic. And so I'm really proud of you for being able to speak up on the topic. Johnny says, God keep you here to be the mouth of the broken. Ooh, that sounds good. The mouth of the broken. I like that, Karen. People whom are afraid and ashamed to speak out. God is still writing your story. Your greatness is yet to come. And we said that today. She's still advocating. And you better speak, sis. She said you better speak. So your best is yet to come. And you're still advocating on behalf of you and others. And that makes me feel so good.
Let me tell you, I and I could share this part, but the rest of it is for a whole different topic. I was one of the voices of 742 women who was abused in the Department of Correction and could not speak up for themselves. But my voice helped them to get some type of justice.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I just want to share that portion.
That's why it's so important to hush no more. Because when you're silent, justice is really hard to come. Justice is hard a lot of times when we come for it anyway. So if you silent, it's not going to come to get any type of justice. So you are an example of that. Jessie said she has to step away, but she wants you to know that she's proud of you and she's honored to call you her friend. And she wants you to keep inspiring and leading with love and strength. Well, you got your friends say some elegant comments. Is there something that you want to share before we get ready to close off for you? What is something that you want to share with the audience?
What I want to share with everybody is that in life, life shows up in many different directions and at unexpected times.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can weather any storm if you stand firm and convict yourself to what's right. You can get through anything. There's no reason to be ashamed of anything, feel guilty, or doubt yourself. And love is love. That's what I want to share.
I love it. That is so inspiring because there's always people that's around us that's part of our community that don't have the hope, right? They're not feeling like life is going to be good for them or that they can never overcome the trauma that they experienced as a child. And so I think it's important that we look at that and we know that it's possible. And you're proof of that. Karen, email is kleinsKaren@gmail.com. If y'all want to reach out to her, I also have it in the comments and on the screen. She's so motivating, very motivating, and has a lot of experience when it comes to addiction and mental health and just being able to share, to talk in different communities. And so I'm very grateful for you, Karen. And it means so much to me that you would join us today to just share just a little snippet of your life. And I can't wait for you to share your book. I so much
It's
think.
four of them. I have four of them. Soon as I settle in, things is doors is opening where I'm getting ready to settle in and set up my printer and stuff. I'm gonna print things out and get things going because through these last few months I had the time and the space along with the opportunity to just really sit down and put it in a book. And I had to make volume one, volume two, volume three, and volume four. Um, and it was part of what it took for me to heal. It was part of my healing journey to be able to read it and no longer cry about it, to write it and not wet up the paper anymore. So, you know, it'll be out there very soon. Very soon.
I know, and I'm ready for it. And he was like, I got multiple books that I don't. That is when you know there's different journeys, different parts of your life that's going to be able to inspire other people. So thank you so very much, y'all have heard from the amazing Karen Klines. I am so impressed by her. I am like crushing on her, like like just out of love and just to show that coming from mental health facilities and the psychotropic drugs, coming to from the crack cocaine, not being in school since the third grade, that is what will break a lot of people. All the suicide attempts, and then especially Seroquel. I don't even see how you made it. If anybody ever been on Seroquel, then they already know how strong it is. So that right there is just amazing that you were able to. And so I'm so grateful for you to raise an awareness for us. And if there's anything that our community can do, we're always here to support you 100%, Karen. And that I
Well,
mean,
if I can do anything to help anyone, I am here. You have my email. Feel free to reach out because I make myself available. Because there was times when there was a no availability or access to anyone for me. So I make myself available. All you have to do is reach out.
y'all got our email, kleinsKaren@gmail.com. All right. Well, I want to just stay in the sexual assault arena today and for this month. And Hush No More released a new song. It's called Warrior Soul. We premiered it this weekend. I'm so honored for everybody that came and watched the video with us. And I wanted to share it today, share the song with you, and to let you know how you can download it, because every download is a donation to help us build our safe haven. We're working hard towards that. So I would love for you to download it. I'll put the links in the comment. Watch the video on YouTube, share the song, use the song if you make any type of clips, and we will be honored. So I'm going to share the song with you and give you a chance.
She was born in the shadows where love never stayed. A child of silence where the truth was betrayed. Uncle said, no one will care what you say. So she learned to fight her tears away. She packed her pain and joined the fight. Thought the uniform would make it right. Found a family in the flag she wore, but the same old demons came through that door. She fell to her knees, whispered, God, why me? But deep inside, a fire wouldn't sleep. 'Cause it takes a warrior soul to rise from the pain, to turn all the hurt into healing rain. It takes a warrior's heart to face the night alone, and still walk out shining like golden stone. She's the proof that broken can still be whole. That's the power of a warrior soul. She carried the scars but not the shame. Found her voice and spoke her name. Said, you can't hush me, not anymore. 'Cause silence is what keeps the war. Now she stands on the stage, eyes full of grace, telling her story to heal that space. Every word, a torch in the dark, lighting the path for another heart. She learned the truth. She's not alone. Strength in the breaking. Power in the no. 'Cause it takes a warrior soul to rise from the pain, to turn all the hurt into healing rain. It takes a warrior's heart to face the night alone, and still walk out shining like golden stone. She's the proof that broken can still be whole. That's the fire of a warrior soul. Now she whispers, hush no more. Let your voice become the roar. Tell your truth, let it fly. You were born to touch the sky. Every scar's a sacred mark, a battle cry inside your heart. 'Cause it takes a warrior soul to rise from the pain, to dance in the storm and love again. It takes a warrior's heart to forgive and grow, and lead the lost to the light they know. She's the mirror of courage, the flame, the gold, forever burning on warrior soul. Now she walks in her truth, unafraid, untamed, soldier of spirit, reborn through the flame. For the world will remember the story she told of the woman who fought with a warrior soul.
I like that.
Thank you, Karen. That is Warrior Soul. If you type in Warrior Soul, Dr. Vanessa Guyan, it'll come up. Apple Music, Spotify. It's even on YouTube, y'all. So download it. Let us get some credit for the song. We're trying to really get it all over to every warrior, not just a sexual assault survivor, a military sexual assault survivor, but every warrior who has fought back, who is healing, who is fighting for their lives, right? And deciding to hush no more. I'm proud of you.
Really so
So proud of you. Very proud of you. If you are interested in sharing your story, your survived military sexual trauma, I am about to start working on our military sexual trauma documentary and book. I would love for you to be a part. The link bit.ly HNMMST is available for you to fill out the form so that you can talk to me about being interviewed. If y'all know a survivor of military sexual trauma, I would love to share their story. That is what Hush No More is about. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please go to our website, hushnomore.org, and apply to be a guest. Or you can also share your story on our website so that people know that this crap is real. It's definitely real. And you have so many comments, Karen. Pamela says she loves this story. They're loving on you. Karen has a warrior soul. She does, y'all. She has a warrior soul. And Tiara said the video sets off the whole song and the whole day that I've had with you, Karen. Let me see. Desiree, I love the promo video. And I agree, Tiara. Okay, Kim talking to Tiara. And Margaret says, beautiful, touching song and video. So, Karen, thank you for joining us today. Please share the video. This is how we raise awareness because awareness plus knowledge equals prevention. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Peace and blessings. And remember, you have a right to tell it and heal. Love you, Karen.
love you too. Thanks to everyone for showing up and showing support. And remember, my email is there. All you got to do is reach out. I'm here.
KlinesKaren at gmail.com. Peace.